From the harbour lights of Carrick to the shores of far away, every heart beats Rangers, every soul will proudly say, we're the voices in the terraces, the hands that build the dream. Now the people own the Rangers, we're the lifeblood of the team. From Carrick to the mountains, to the cities around the globe, our colours fly together and the black and amber glows. We're the people's club forever, we'll sing it loud and true. Carrick Rangers owned by all, the best for me and you. From Belfast to New York, from Sydney to the Clyde, every fan's a family member standing shoulders side by side. No rich man owns our spirit, no king can buy our pride. We're 1,000 hearts united and the world's our stadium wide. From Carrick to the mountains, to the cities around the globe, our colours fly together and the black and amber glows. We're the people's club forever, we'll sing it loud and true. Carrick Rangers owned by all, the best for me and you. It's the roar of every corner, it's the drums in every land, it's the little child in Carrick holding tight their granddad's hand. It's the flags in foreign stadiums, it's the chants that never fade. We're the club the people built and the greatest ever made. From Carrick to the mountains, to the cities around the globe, our colours fly together and the black and amber glows. We're the people's club forever, we'll sing it loud and true. Carrick Rangers owned by all, the best for me and you. The best for me and you. The best for me and you.
Welcome to episode 2. Did you think we would make it this far? I thought we'd be canceled already.
Yeah, same.
We had
let's just play the music and that's it.
that was it. Thanks for tuning in.
Perfect.
I believe that we'll be back next week, and maybe we will.
There you go.
So, man, we had a big response from last week's show. You guys did an awesome job, man. You anchored the thing, so you obviously.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for showing up and all the supports. It's very nice. We didn't expect that much support, and a lot of people messaging us that they enjoyed, and they were even the locals. A lot of locals and some of the staff were messaging us and say, "Yeah, great stuff," and they really surprised to see so much support for their club all the way overseas. So no, it was good. I'm excited for what's next.
Yeah, me too. And the amount of people that tuned in and the amount of people that reached out, I mean, that was the whole goal. We want to raise awareness for the People's Club in the US. I think also in Ireland, because there's not enough people showing up or showing out in Ireland. So we want to improve that also, or help the club improve that.
Yeah,
and
we want to make sure that we help the community grow. Like you said, not only in US but also in Northern Ireland. Carrick is a small town, so any little extra counts. So if we can make it every match day, increase a little bit more the attendance, that's going to be fantastic to see that as well, especially when we get the chance to go there.
Absolutely. And so I missed the match this Saturday. And I don't usually miss matches on Saturday mornings. I have a whole routine. My dogs love Saturday mornings because we wake up and then we just lay in bed and watch soccer until noon. And they kind of dig it. But I had one of my racehorses was running on Saturday, so I had to go down to the track to see the racehorse run. And so what did I miss? Let's
don't worry. I'm your guy. I never miss those matches. I also analyze and I check in. Also, I cut a little bit of highlights. I take the game, and I cut it small sections. So if you want to show it, so we can discuss after the highlights.
I definitely will. So let me bring these highlights on. And the final score of the game did not go in our favor, correct? It was 1-0.
No.
Is that what it
Yes.
was?
Yes,
Okay.
very frustrating, but we'll talk
All right.
after the highlights.
Let's highlights up here, and we'll take a look at. So, my first impression, I like the kits.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people try to bid on it. I don't know the results, who got what. I'm sure they'll let us know in the chats. But some of them were bidding hardcore on top players. So I'm sure they'll start showing the pictures when they start sending those kits. But they look amazing. That's for breast cancer.
Yeah, I got outbidded. I was
Oh
trying
yeah,
Gibson.
which one?
I wanted number 9, so I went Gibson, but then I went with another one.
But you went for the number 9.
I
A lot of people wanted it.
Yeah, and I don't remember which one the other one was that I put a bid on. But then my plan was, all right, let me just wait. Let me just wait until we get down to the end here, and then I'll make a bid at the very last minute if they're not outrageous. So I got an email. What was it? A header? Is that what it is?
Yeah, free kick. On a free kick, I did a slow-mo, so you can see a little bit better.
Oh man, you got skills. You're slowing it down and everything.
Yes.
So were they in this game at all? What happened here?
Yes. So I can start talking about it.
Yeah.
So we had a good start. The first 15 minutes were really good. I guess we had something in the plan tactically to push them high up, put a lot of pressure. And then after the goal, which was in the 70th minute, we start crashing. And look, you can see even on the highlights, you can see they kept attacking. We were very disorganized. It was tough to watch. The next 30 minutes after the goal was all Cliftonville. Possession, shots, everything was going for them. And then on the second half, that's where I guess, after the locker room talk, that's the second half starting. It got a little bit better. So slowly they slow down. They're like, okay, let's defend the lead, and then we kept attacking. We had a lot of chances. Even this one is the biggest chance. I put a slow-mo on this one as well. It's Gibson, the number 9. Big chance for him. That one should have been probably on target at least, but we had a couple more chances. Aiden Steele, the number 24, coming in and helping the team get a little bit more chances. But it was a bit frustrating.
Right here, all right. So I went backwards for a minute. And look, I'm a novice, all right. So I'm going to lean on you. So right here, why doesn't he shoot? Why does he have to give it back? This is the more soccer I watch, the more that I think, all right, they get too fancy in front of the net, and sometimes take the shot. I mean, to me, it looks like he has a shot. What am I not seeing, or what don't I?
No, I mean, he could have shot. I think he saw that the defender was putting pressure on him, and maybe the space was not enough. I mean, he could have shot. If he takes it first touch, he can take the shot. But I guess he saw that Gibson, look, if you keep playing a little bit more, he sees that Gibson is all open for the shot, which is, for me, the best option. He's all open. There is nobody to cover or block the shot, and then Gibson completely flies it away. So for me, it's still the best decision, but he could have taken the shot as well.
And why do so many players fire it away like that? When I see, I mean, I'm asking because if you're, and I realize there's different levels, but I see top level guys that when I look, they're making $10 million a year, $8 million a year, and they're kicking them 17 rows back into the supporter section. I don't know. I would think that you could do your job a little bit better than that. I don't know. I'm not saying that about what happened here with Gibson, but I'm asking.
It's most of the time they try to put a lot of power. So if he goes on targets, most likely it goes in, because the keeper with the power, it's difficult for them to stop that type of shots, especially that close. But the problem is when you put so much power in a ball that's not, I mean, that ball was a bit bouncy, and I mean, it flies. Those players, they have so much power, then it can really fly really, really high. And it happens often, especially in this type of situations where the ball comes at you really fast. It's difficult. Oh, and then, yeah, that was,
that looked like a
yes,
good opportunity. That
yeah.
was a
We had a
little.
couple more. I mean, the second half, we had, yeah, there you go, Aiden Steely coming on. That was a beautiful strike. That one, again, yeah, I put a slow-mo on this one because I really like the shot outside the box. Very nice. He came on, and it was very dangerous for us in the second half.
So after the match, how did you feel? Because I saw some feedback that wasn't extremely positive. You know, like blah 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 blah. I'm not going to repeat what I was reading, but
Yeah.
how did you feel? Were we optimistic? Did they play a good second half?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Second half was good. We definitely could have gotten a point away from this match. For me, I felt frustration, very frustrated because we had the chance. If you look at total shots, we had more shots, and it doesn't happen often. We had more shots than them. We had 11 shots on total, and they had 9, and 4 on targets for each. So they had 4 on target. We had 4 on target, and it's frustrating to leave with 0 points in a game like that, where we had a full half of really pretty dominant. Possession was almost equal. They were a little bit over 54 or 55%, which is rare for us. Usually we are around the 35% possession. We give the ball away, and this time we went at 44%. So it's frustrating. To be honest, was frustrating. And then we have the clip of the coach where I cut a little bit the post match, and he's also saying the same feedback. That's a lot of frustration because we played well, even though that 30 minutes was hell for us. After the goal, once they scored, they kept attacking, and it could have been 2-0 before halftime.
You want to let's see what Coach Back.
No defeat to Cliftonville this afternoon. Can I get your thoughts on the game, please?
Well, we're obviously very disappointed with the result, but our performance level here today was excellent. You know, you keep saying all of these things like a repeat performance for the last few weeks. I was really disappointed with our performance at Glenavon last week and said so. Lackluster, not getting around the first and second balls, you know, being dominated, I felt, a little bit in the midfield area. And I made a couple of changes, a couple of tweaks in the team today to be competitive with this Cliftonville team. And we started off reasonably brightly, and you know, first 5 or 10 minutes, I then felt, you know, that the goal unsettled us a little bit. You know, Nathan's disappointed with that. Although he makes 2 good saves in the period where Cliftonville were dominant for 20 minutes. And then we finished the first half brightly, you know, with that lovely chance that Danny whips across for Paul, and he just nips in front post, doesn't get the touch to get us in 1-1. But our second half performance here today was sensational. You know, I've counted 3 great chances to score, and we were totally dominant, totally on the front foot, coming at them in waves of attack after attack, but we didn't just get that ball over the line for the goal. That's the great disappointment. But when your team play the way they have and be on the front foot against a very good Cliftonville team for 45 full minutes without reply from them, that pleases me. And you know, you have to stick to your processes. It's a brand new team you're building. You're working on your patterns of play and getting these guys all into the shape that you want them to play and be competitive with all these other teams. They're doing that well. You know, but we just have to be a little bit more clinical in what we do in our work. And another day, you bang those 3 balls in the back of the net, and you're walking out here fairly worthy winners.
Now, I appreciate you putting the subtitles in. Him, I can understand. I have no problem understanding Baxter. Some other people that I've heard interview or talk, I'm like, what? Wait, what?
Some players.
So you had said this when we first started talking here tonight about, I think the word was disorganized, or what is it that, from your professional experience, because you're not just a guy like me that said, hey, yeah, let me invest in the soccer club, this seems cool. You have some experience in the industry.
Yes.
Why is a team coming out disorganized?
There's a lot of factors. It's very difficult. Even at the top tier, even in Premier League, sometimes you see that we call it like emergency minutes or emergency situation is after you start the kickoff or after very, very bad yellow card or action or a goal. A goal is mentally changes. Like there's a switch in your head in the players when they get a goal against or they score a goal, they kind of lose the focus. So that's what happened. In this one is a perfect example of that. After the goal scored, it's like that switch started in some players. You just need one or two, especially the ones that kind of control the game or in the midfield. And if they're not where they're supposed to be, if they're not organized, everything else crashes around them. So they kept pushing and they saw it. They saw the momentum shifted. Cliftonville took advantage and said, hey, they're completely disorganized. They lost. They don't know what they're doing. And then it's 30 minutes of hell, like the coach said. I mean, his feedback was almost the same as what I was saying. Besides, he says he's disappointed. Me, is more frustrated because we could have at least scored one goal.
Well, I'm excited either way. I just wondered why the disorganization, not from our team, but just in general. When I see that, it's like I don't get you. You prepared all week for this, and then you're coming out flat. Come on, guys, get in the game. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the coach needs a sidekick, like a big guy that can slap the guys around before the game, fire them up. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
it's tough. It also comes down. I mean, it's easy to put the blame on the coach, but I think at this stage, the players have at least half of the responsibility to take control and talk to each other. Sometimes I feel like there's a lack of communication. Sometimes they need to say, "Hey, let's reorganize, let's regroup." And I see a lot of gaps happening very easily. Like sometimes they can counter easily, and I'm like, "What's happening? Why don't you talk and ask them to help you?" And that's also the difference between top teams and lower teams. Like we're not gonna sugar it. We're not the favorites to win the league by any means, but if we organized, we can get some results, especially against this type of team, Cliftonville. I think it's mid-table, and we should be able to create some good opposition against them.
Yeah, and we'll take a look at the table in a few minutes. Let's bring it. So we have a guest.
Oh yes,
is also an owner, like we are. Invest. I don't know. I feel funny when I say the word owner. Should it be investors or yeah? It's like, yeah, I own
either way, I guess.
I had that racehorse running the other day, and I was like, yeah, I have this horse. I own it. And they're like, you own it? I'm like, well, no, not really. I own like 1% of the horse. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, well, you're nothing. And I'm like, well,
you're a micro owner.
Mike, that's exactly Michael. So let's welcome him and Mike to be joining us. And Michael, unlike us, Jean, that is watching from afar. Michael, you actually made it over there to Taylor Ave, right? And Taylor's Ave, and you got to see it up close, live, and in person.
I did. It was incredible. And let me say, I know we are all like 1.5 episodes into this, but I already feel like I'm talking to 2 celebrities. And so I want you to know that I have butterflies from the last episode. So just so you're aware that that's what I'm fighting on my end here is some butterflies from episode 1. That's how epic it was. So just so you're aware.
You don't need any butterfly. What I need to know, all right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
We're just a couple of guys hanging out.
Yeah.
You got a nice looking thing going on there. So it looks comfortable where you are. You got a fire going?
We got a little fire going. So I live in the middle of Wisconsin. And so, darn near Canada. And so it's the season's turning. We got to feel cozy. I'm in my little hobbit hole. We do have a cozy thing going. Thanks for noticing.
It looks like if you ever invite me there, I'm never going to leave. I'm like that Owen Wilson movie where he just wouldn't.
You're going to say that.
It looks, and it was cold here today, Michael. It was,
yes.
I don't know. I think it was 82, which was freezing for me.
AJ, if I could speck plainly, I was about to invite you here until the last part where you said you would never leave, and it makes it a coin flip. But even
My
with
wife
that,
is
but
in the
anyway,
same position, so
that's yeah, same with mine. Same with mine. But thanks for having me. This is very thrilling, and I think even outside of all of the excitement about the club over here in America, I think it's an exciting time for the club in general. And so yeah, I'm happy to be joining here. Thanks for the invite. But I think even for Carrick Rangers, it's such an inflection point for the club, and I speak, I think, for a lot of people, am honored to be on the ride for it, along with you guys, of course.
And how did you get involved? And then I'll shut up and I'll let Jean ask some questions, or else I'll just hog everything up here. But how did you get involved with the Carrick Rangers? Why and how?
Yeah, I wish I had a fun, intricate story. I think it started on some Facebook ad kind of thing, and so I don't want to rabbit hole on it, but I've been following European football for a long time. Grew up a Chelsea fan, pre-Abramovich era, which is important to mention. And so we were a mid-table team.
John, you
when
can
I
explain to me later what the heck he just said. I have no idea what
Don't
the hell
worry.
he's talking about. I'm new to the game, but go ahead.
Yeah, John, by the way, you can explain to me later what I just said. But so I saw a Facebook ad, and it was, all the ads that we see and we continue to see. And I will tell you, the idea of, here in America, we have so many sports, right? And so we go from basketball season to American football season to baseball season to pick a season. And the idea is, I've been a soccer player and fan forever. We don't have anything here where a small town can get behind a team year in, year out. It doesn't matter if you're in season, out of season. And the idea of, staying up, right, or competing for a title, and the economics that are associated with a small town team is just something we don't get to experience. And even as a Chelsea fan, which to me, picking a mid-table team in the Premier League in England seemed like some kind of feather in my cap for not picking Manchester United or Liverpool. You don't get to experience kind of the multi-dimensional fandom that's associated with small-town European football clubs. And so as soon as I saw the ad, and I didn't care that we were profitable. I didn't care about any of that stuff. I cared about having an intrinsic motivation to follow a team across an ocean at a small, in a small town, and get emotionally invested all the way through my family, that we just don't have the opportunity to do here. And so the minute I saw the ad and did some research on the club and the history, I'm like, man, I got to be a part of this, because I don't have any other opportunity to do something like this. It was amazing.
And you're really gung ho because you got involved and then hopped on a plane and went right over, huh?
It turns out I have way more free time than I let on. So my wife and I. So truth be told, I had a golf trip with a bunch of buddies from our country club in Ireland the following week, and so my wife and I, we were like, let's go ahead of time and see if we can catch a game, and the schedule worked out great. And so we flew into Dublin. We did our proper pub crawls and all the things you might do, and then we headed up to Belfast, and it worked out so well. Michael was in town for that game, and it was right on the heels of the hurricane, and so the wind was, something 50 miles an hour. But anyway, and so we went up, we spent, a couple days in Carrickfergus, which is such a stunning town. Good Lord, good luck going there and not falling in love with that place. Just, coastal town, the people are great. And so we, I want to keep this. I don't know what your structure for the conversation is, but
it's a conversation. We want to hear what it was like.
Yeah, it was. So we grabbed breakfast at, do you remember the name of the place? Sorry, my wife's over here. Do you remember what it was? It's in the commercials on Facebook, but we grabbed some breakfast down, in the downtown area. We went and walked upon the coast, and we met Michael. We were texting the whole time. And even the night before, we met with a couple of the guys who, work at the club. And so Michael and I and a few of the guys were, up late having some drinks, talking about football and the club. And so that was a pretty neat experience. And yeah, where did we have breakfast? The Central Bar. like right
Yeah,
right
yeah, yeah.
near.
The one
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they show on the ad.
It's right on there.
Yeah.
And by the way, really good food.
Good. Okay.
If you want to, yeah, yeah, yeah. They all tend. It looked like from the jerseys I saw, they were all Rangers fans. You know, from the
Yeah,
Scottish
I
League,
was
and
sorry to interrupt. I was gonna
of
ask you,
course.
what's the vibe and the feel in the town? Do you see any other teams represented? People wearing different other teams because since they're so close to Belfast, and a lot of people keep telling us, "Hey, it's difficult to grow the community within Carrick because of Cliftonville and all the other teams being so close."
Yeah, that's a good call out. So I was looking for that. I just like looking at jerseys in
Hmm.
general where I am, and I honestly it was so overwhelmingly Glasgow Rangers. In the Scottish League, I didn't see any other clubs
That's
in the
funny.
Northern Ireland League, and so that was obvious. Like it was just all over. It was just blue Rangers kits. Um, but no, the town is immaculate. We almost got blown over. It was so windy and rainy, so we didn't get to do a lot of the walkarounds that you would like.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so we were texting with Michael the whole time, and so we got to the pitch. I don't know, an hour early, something like that, and we met Michael, and they have this, you know, like an owner's box, right? And
Mhm.
so
The VIP treatment.
the VIP treatment, which by the way, I'm certainly not poo-pooing it, but when you hear the phrase, the owner's box,
Mhm. Okay.
I think about,
Jerry Jones, George
there you
Steinbrenner.
go.
Yeah,
There you
okay.
go. Right. Yeah. And by the way, I felt like Jerry Jones when I was there, even though the aesthetics might not be identical. But essentially, it amounted to a couple of big storage bins stacked upon
Mhm.
each other, and you had this indoor. And by the way, it was like 45 degrees, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and we're sitting there indoors with catered food and beverages. And so it was an owner's box to
Yeah.
me. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Um, but yeah, so we got to meet everybody at the club. We visited the store. We got to walk around and meet a lot of the local fans, who were walking around. Again, it was pretty windy, but we got to see all the renderings in person of the future of the
Oh
club,
yeah, we're gonna talk
and
about it. That's perfect.
oh yeah, and I don't want to step
What?
on toes and where you're going, but like we sat there for, I don't know, half hour listening to like the future. And
Mhm.
but the thing that was so neat for me was, I'm an ocean away and I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm not even I'm an ocean and a bunch of transportation modes away. And I felt emotionally excited for the community of Carrickfergus, for what this club was about to bring to them with the
Mhm.
design of the rec leagues and the youth leagues and what it could be used for. And like it was ahead of the game that was about to happen. Yeah, investing a few bucks into the club, amazing. Being able to follow them live in my living room in Wisconsin, amazing. But sitting there, I was somehow emotionally moved and invested by what this club was about to do for the town of Carrickfergus, which I had never been to until that morning. And so it may seem illogical, and that's what the heart is. It was, if you are anybody in America who's obsessed with football and you want to experience something beyond what you understand about football in this country and get invested into a club in a town, there is no better club than Carrick Rangers to go and do
Yeah.
that. And
You have
so
to do a disclaimer. You're not paid because this is
I actually
that's
paid
oh,
quite the
it
opposite.
feels
I
like you're
actually
getting paid by the club.
No, no. Put that money toward the January transfer window,
Yeah.
for
Yes,
sure.
that would be
Yeah,
good.
but no, but and not to make it a monologue, we didn't even get into the game, but even leading up to the game and experiencing everything
Mhm.
going into it and the plans for the future. Um, if there's any way for people to come in March, or just to get over there somehow, um, it 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 will dwarf the investment that you made in the club as far as emotionally getting into it. it was truly amazing.
And you want to ask?
I do.
Go ahead.
What my takeaway, and Stephen, but I know you got homework, buddy, but stay on top of that chat for us, okay, buddy? And put them up there because my phone's going off and there's comments in the chat
people are
and
commenting and stuff.
you have fans already, Michael. All right?
Yes,
you
a lot
have
of fans. They appreciate
already here. I'm getting all. We've hit another grand slam. Becker is providing fantastic, and you are. But what I took away from that, and I don't want to. I'm not going to put you on the spot.
Go ahead.
I did not invest a large sum of money into this. And I'm just going to assume that you didn't invest like $100,000 or $50,000. I don't know what you did or you didn't, but the point
it's
is
somewhere between. It's between 100 and 50,000, right in there.
Between $100 and $50,000.
That's right in there. Yeah, for sure.
Me too. Exact same thing.
You got to go into the owner's box. You hung out with the majority owner, who's an extremely established professional. Okay.
Yeah.
You got all the bells and whistles, and you're no different, or I'm no different, or Jean's no different than people watching this for the first time saying, "Oh, I want to own a soccer club." You can go to the link in the bio of this video if you're watching it on YouTube, and click through and learn more about the club.
Yeah, I'm no, if it's not obvious already, I'm no different than anybody else that invested in the club. And what's interesting is I talked to Michael, and I don't think I'm oversharing, and I talked to him about the different investment levels and all that, and yeah, all the money that everybody invests is going toward good things. Just look at the renderings of the new facility. Just look at what the plans are as far as growing the side and the squad. It's incredible. But what matters more to the club is more the volume of people that are becoming emotionally invested in the club. And so whether it's 100 or 200, whatever the local or the current minimum is what means more to Carrick Rangers and to Michael is to grow the amount of people, because once somebody gets invested, it's like, now we're watching the games. Now we're buying the merch. Now we're talking to our neighbors here. For me, it's the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. And but we're inviting people into the club. And so it's not the amount of dollars. And that's fine to say on a commercial. But I'll tell you firsthand, going to Northern Ireland you would have thought I was the majority owner, the way the club treated us. You would have thought I was Jerry Jones in that. But they took us out the night before. They let us pick the man of the match or the player of the match. It was catered food. It was, pretty good alcoholic, options, if that's right. And soda, great soda options as well. And it was incredible. And so, whether you get over there in the next year or get over in the next 10, the beauty of the financial stability of the club is that if you don't get over there for 6 years, the club's still going to be here. You can go, it's fine. And that's something that you don't have with a lot of these other offers and stuff that you see. And so, yeah, it was a day I wouldn't trade for almost any. I have 4 kids and a wife, so at least 5 other days would go ahead of this one, but not too many others, if I'm honest with you.
Oh,
no BS.
And people are loving it. Look,
they're all going crazy.
He wants to invest, even though he's already invested, just from listening to you.
That's good. Spokesperson. He's the spokesperson for the club now.
Yeah. Apparently, from the messages I'm getting, John, you're out, I'm out, and Michael.
Yeah. Well, Michael, next week it's only you by yourself, man. I'm sorry.
That's that might be brash, but yeah, no. Again. I'm not here for a commercial. I am telling you, there is something romantic about, and again, I started following Chelsea before the internet. And so my dad, we'd have to wait for the London Times to get delivered 2 weeks delayed to find out if my arbitrary idea of a team had won 3 fixtures ago. Right. And so now we're in a world where you can watch, first tier Northern Ireland football live in my living room here. And so, anybody truly who loves football and has this romantic view of what it might be like to follow a club in Europe in the relegation and promotion world, between the internet, the financial structure of Carrickfergus and the history of Carrickfergus, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you could combine a better kind of trilogy of factors that would allow you to authentically feel involved from so far away. It really is unique. The offer that Carrick is, and if you ever get over there, and I hope to see everybody. I'm going to the thing in March, the summit.
Summit.
Yeah, so I'll be there, and I know a lot of others will. And if there's any way to make that happen, I do. Like, man, what an experience that would be.
It looks like such a. So I joined a group on Facebook that has nothing to do with the club.
Yeah,
but it's a Carrick sort of pictures, Carrickfergus and pictures. All right.
yeah.
And it looked beautiful because I went through there one day looking to see, all right, what did they have from the club? There was nothing. It was like the club didn't exist, which means not only do we need to build this on this side of the ocean, but we need to raise awareness over there. But the place looks unbelievably beautiful. I thought it was nothing but a castle on a soccer team. So much. I mean, it's gorgeous. I cannot.
Which would be enough, by the way. Most cities don't have either one of those. They have both. So even if it was just that, yeah, you're playing with house money after that. Yeah. I posted. I don't know. I can't. I'm not a big social media guy, but I posted a bunch of pictures of my wife and I, in Carrickfergus, and it is a stunning city. Like the coastline and the houses along there, and the little pubs and the restaurants and stuff. It really is. And I don't know who's on the. There's a lot of apps we're on talking about Rangers, but I think it's WhatsApp, and there was a lot of conversation after this last fixture, about everything under the sun. Right. And this might be a topic that you guys are going to cover, and I can certainly step out, but
you're here with us. You're covering it with us. That's what we're doing tonight. So go ahead.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, we all have these ideas, right? And I think this is an American trait. It is one that I love. I love America. It's the best country in the world. That's my opinion. And we want to go and we just want to get we want to get stuff done. And so there's so much opportunity to go and grow the club and do all these things. And I think it's a learned restraint that we need to have to go there are, and I met a bunch of them, and if anybody goes over, you'll meet them too. There's a bunch of people who care about the club, who are boots on the ground. And just because it hasn't been done yet doesn't mean it's because the club doesn't want to. It's just they'll get to it. And so I think there's a really fine balance that us as Americans investing in the club or anywhere else to go why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And I think there's a line we hit with authentic interest from afar, and hey, you're a little overstepping by assuming we haven't thought of these things yet, and we're working toward it. We're still a bunch of volunteers. That's something I didn't realize till I got there. I asked, how many employees do we have? How many employees do we have as investors, or whatever the word is we're going to come up with? I heard right before I joined.
Listen to Jerry Jones over here, huh?
Yeah, right. I'm in the box. Hey, what are we doing over here?
Yeah.
And but all of the people that support the club that we love now and invested in is all volunteers. They all have jobs. They all have lives. We don't pay people, and there's a lot of discussion to be had about when do we start paying people and how does that work? Because there's teams in our league who started doing that. It's been a train wreck as far as just culturally, how do they manage it? And so, I don't know how we started on this, but it just in that WhatsApp, I posted a bunch of pictures and all that, but there was a lot of discussion about, and I was involved with it. Why don't we do this? And why do we do that? And how do we, and I think it's going to be a very, hopefully beautiful, but also, I hope thoughtful blend of foreign excitement and local reality that's going to need to happen. And so I'm telling this to myself in front of, I don't know how many people are watching this, but to everybody going,
millions.
I think we do need to be respectful in our suggestions, but also very forthright in our excitement. and blending those together over the years. And I think that's going to be the very, very beautiful part of what Michael has created. And I think at the crux of it, that's it.
And I have a question. Before your trip, did those expectations were different? Because now obviously you went there, you met the staff, you went to the grounds. So now you're telling us that because we haven't been there, there's a lot of information that we don't have. So it's very interesting that to have your perspective, your point of view of, okay, you know, like they probably have like 10 staff, paid staff, the rest is volunteers. I know because with the U20, I know that most of the academy coaches, they volunteers, they parents or people that love the sport and the club so much, they do that. So imagine most of the academy are coached by volunteers, which is amazing. And like you said, and there's a lot of things that we don't know here overseas.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a really insightful question that you just asked. So there is nobody getting paid at Carrick. There is no paid staff. There's no 10 full-time. There's no 5. There's no 3. There's none. It is all volunteer run. And so, so when you see the words, you think European football, right? You have this view, and it could be England, Italy. It could be, you know, it could be any country. What a lot of people may not understand, and my hunch is they don't because I didn't, and I consider myself mildly fluent, is, you know, the Northern Irish League out of 50 some leagues over in Europe is, you know, ranked, I think 46, something like that. I think I'm in the ballpark.
Around 45, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we're in the ballpark. And so, but you see, they're in the Premiership. And so you just have these expectations that come with that. And it's run by volunteers. And so, I think that is, you know, going into it, if you can hear background, sorry, my dog is very excited about the Rangers, probably. And so I think even being fluent in that, getting there and going, oh, well, I actually love their stadium and I love what they're going to, like, it was very romantic feeling to be in that. It was just this like small town.
Ask you because it looks like, and I mean this not in a derogatory way, but it looks like when I watch the matches, it looks like how you explained it, like 2 storage units just put up on one on another, and then we have these of what they're going to do, and John was going on and on and on before the show. He's like, now this is a professional club right here with these facilities. What made it romantic, or what made it what gave it that feel?
Oh, we don't have enough time.
I love when we watch it on what is that app we watch it on? One Football.
Yeah.
I love that you can hear them screaming like, you wanker, or you know, you son of a, and then bleep it out. But I love that. I wish there was some commentating, and I know that that's coming. But what was it? If there's one takeaway from that building where you said this was extremely cool.
Well, I'll drill down further than this first comment. It was just all of the imperfections. Like when you think Premier football, it's like, you know, I grew up watching Stamford Bridge, and all these states, and even in America, all the corners are a little too round, right? And all the colors and the paints are a little too perfect. And you go there, and there's just moss growing on the top of the above the stands. And then you have this section where it's like standing only, where everybody's kind of hanging out and families are kicking footballs around, and it's so imperfect, but it's I think it's the imperfections, but it's for me, I don't know why, but it's the moss growing on top of the stands. And as much as I love it, I did enjoy being in the little owner's box. Like, I loved it, but not quite enough to go sit over there all game, in fairness. So yeah, all the renderings look amazing. And honestly, if we're going to compete, and if we're going to be top of the table year after year, and we're competing for titles, the enhancements that we're making, I think, are a necessity. Not just for the facilities to attract footballers, But I also think to bring the community, because some of the things we talked about in the WhatsApp during the last fixture was, gosh, it seems like we're on the road in our own home, and
constantly,
yeah. And Michael, corrected us in that, well, technically that wasn't true. We actually had more supporters than the other team did in our last fixture. But how we are organized is we allow our supporters to spread out all over the place, and so all of the traveling fans kind of sit together. And so the optics and the sound seem like they dominated our stadium, which isn't really true. And so, again, going back to your question, I think our stadium is stunning, and I think that even when we go with when we have the new things built, I hope we keep a lot of the personality that's there. But I also think we might want to rethink how we seat people, because if we want to come up with the chants and the songs, if we want to get the community, like nothing builds community than being closer together. And so I do think there's some minor tweaks that should happen. But when anybody goes over to our stadium, I think you will be entranced by just the authenticity and the imperfections of it, which is pretty symbolic of our club, which is nothing but promise, a ton of history, and just a lot of authenticity.
And was it what you expected when you arrived to the stadium?
It was better, actually.
Oh, yeah?
It was better, actually. Yeah, because I went on Dr. Google, to get a prescription of the stadium I was about to go to, and you see some pictures of it, and you're like, like good Lord, it's not anything to look at. But then we got there, and you walk around and you see there's this little area, this seating area over here, which is random as all get up, but it was like it's where the local fans sat. And then we had our main stands, and then we had the standing room over here. We had the store, which is another storage unit that didn't get stacked on top of the investor's box or whatever it is. And it was better than I thought it would be. The game day experience was better. Is there room to improve? Sure. There's plenty of room to improve. And that's what we're going to do over the next whatever. But it was way better than I thought. It was way better.
Was it your first experience in a football stadium in Europe, or you've been to the Chelsea? You've been to Chelsea?
No, so I've been to bigger. It was my first experience in like a smaller club, something like that. And so, Stamford Bridge and Old Trafford, and and even if you go to the Celtic games or Rangers games in Glasgow, they're not so dissimilar from going to a Yankee or Mets game or whatever club you want to go to. It was my first time, and so I'm near Forward Madison, which is a USL League Two team, a football team here, and even that is it's very it's small, but it's all very consumer grade. It's all very nice, and so this was my first, which is why I got involved with this to begin with, which is I want to know what it's like to be obsessed with a local team, not for the frills and not for the anything. It's just because it's ours, right? It's like if you're a parent, I will get off this quickly, but if you're a parent, or I like my kids, I love them just because they're mine. They don't have to do anything for me. I just love them because they're mine. And there's no experience sports-wise, and certainly football-wise in this country, that gives me that. And I'm trying to get to that point with Rangers where it's like, I don't care what the stadium looks like. I don't care what anything is. It's just I just love them because they're mine. And that's what going over there amplified by 20 times, which is oh, this is mine now. I don't care that the stadium looks like, a lot of, there's some renderings that look a little better than the current state, but it's just I love them because they're mine. It's
also that I think that authenticity kind of feel, you belong more, because when you're in those big stadiums, 50,000 plus stadiums, you're one of 50,000. When you're in that small stadium and you know the staff and you're oh, okay, I belong here. There's that feeling of belonging. Because I've been to, like you said, 50, 60,000 stadiums, and 2,000 and standing. Most of it is
Mhm.
standing. So I
Yeah.
already have that expectation already. And from your perspective, it just amplifies what I was thinking. And go ahead,
I
AJ.
can't wait to get over. Ideally, for me, I want to go for a month, and I
Yeah.
want to go. I want to go see the Rangers, but I want to go to England and see some games because
Mhm.
I'm new to soccer. I'm new to the
Mhm.
sport. I walked into being the Inter Miami friggin' correspondent and
Yeah.
Inter Miami, and yeah, not realizing that, okay, yeah, this is Messi. Okay, whatever. And they're like, no, that's the greatest player ever. And I'm like, oh, all
Yeah,
right.
he's okay.
It's
He's all
okay.
right.
But the
Yeah, I guess.
stadium that they play in is like a pop-up stadium. They're building a new one. They're gonna
Yeah,
Yeah.
near the airport.
in February, I guess. But where they are now, I mean, even the concession stands are just food trucks that they drive into the stadium. You want to go to the bathroom? It's literally like an outhouse at Inter
Mhm.
Miami. So I watch on TV and then I hear Matt from Kicking It Back with Matt talking about, oh, you got to go to Liverpool and when they sing and blah, blah, blah. And I'm
Oh, that
like,
is true. I hate Liverpool, but that is true. Yeah, you'll never walk alone. Like,
yeah.
oh, that's goosebumps, baby. Yeah, that's good.
And they're singing
Um,
at Inter Miami constantly, except it's all in Spanish. I'm the only guy at the Inter Miami games that does not speak Spanish, but it's got a good beat, and I get, I get in the groove, and I love it, and I can't believe it took me this long to discover this sport because
It's the best.
it's absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to get over
I
there.
mean, I'm biased, but yeah, it's the best.
And
it is. It
a
is.
quick learning moment. So I learned something last week. One of us, and I think it was me. We were referring to the supporters, the supporters group,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I think I called it the loyalists, and I meant supporters. And then I went and I looked it up, and you can't. Anyway, different words mean different things in different countries,
Yeah.
apparently. And loyalists is not something that we want to associate with the club.
No,
I found
Northern
out
Ireland has a long
because
history,
No,
and
that's a
no.
it's better not to.
So I'm going to put the disclaimer out for last week where I believe I said that, and I apologize for it, but you will never hear. I mean, we want everybody to be loyal to the show. We're not going to hold that against you. We don't care who you voted for or didn't vote for, but when it comes to the club,
It's the club.
supporters, not loyalists or not loyals or
Yes.
however you want to say it.
I think that's right. And that actually brings up another thing. So traveling over, so we stayed in Belfast. And so I've been to England a bunch. We stayed in Dublin and we did the Ireland thing and we stayed in Belfast when we went up for the game. And I fell in love with Belfast. Like if you go over there, like take I think it's called a black cab tour, and it takes you through like the times of the troubles, and there's still a lot of conflict, and it
Yeah.
really helps you understand kind of the political landscape and the religious landscape and all that. But Belfast is such a culture rich town. Like I am not. My wife is a big Titanic person.
No, that's
I
perfect
knew
for her.
I knew it was a boat. Like I knew that. I know it's sunk, and that's a bummer. That's about it. And so
And
I'm
it was
looking
a
up.
really long movie too. It was a really long movie, but
I
besides
heard there was some movie about it. I don't
Mhm.
know. The ending somehow shocked some people who never went to history class. But anyway, and so, but I was looking at pubs we were going to go drink at. She's like, no, we're going to go to this tour. And I'm like, oh,
The
for Pete's
Titanic one.
sake. Like, good Lord. Because it was built in Belfast.
Yes.
And so,
Mhm.
so we went there and did the tour. I will tell you, of all the tours and experiences I've had similar to that, I left there emotionally broken about like the building of the Titanic, the learning of like Belfast at the time. Like you got to hear all the final calls and the distress calls when the boat was going down, and they did vignettes of different passengers and it is so incredible. Like the town of Belfast, and by the way, I love Carrickfergus and all that. Belfast is such an incredible town to go stay in. Like you could stay there for multiple days and still like have plenty of things to learn. So like that's my promotion. Like
Yeah,
of
it's
all
cool.
the UK and Ireland cities I've gone to, Belfast is my favorite. It is a very cool town. I don't like any of their football teams. I'd rather a Carrickfergus team, but it's a cool town for sure.
Oh God, I cannot wait
Good.
to go. There's no way I'm
Yeah.
waiting till March. I'm getting there before that.
It's a
Real
good
quick,
idea.
because we're getting to the end. So, Michael, can you
Oh,
hang
sorry.
on with us
Yeah.
for a few more minutes and get us to the end here?
I'll be here as long as you'll have me, of course. Yeah.
No, we love you. We want you back. What is it? I feel like I should follow this team.
Yes.
New York Ranger fan. Yeah,
Go
nobody-
Rangers. I'm a New York Rangers fan. So
Love
whoever
it.
that is, let's go Rangers.
I found out last night on the Bleacher Brothers show, and Luch, who left that comment, is our hockey guy, and he was talking about the Rangers, that the Rangers have a guy named Carrick on the team.
Yeah,
I'm like,
they
whoa,
do.
that just blew my mind, Luch. What are you talking about here?
Right here. It's just, yeah, it's kismet. Let's go.
So this week's match.
Oh yeah, man, it went so fast. Yeah. It's tomorrow, guys. Wake up, wake up. It's not early. It's actually in the afternoon for most of us, except if you're Pacific or Alaska. We have some people from Alaska as well. It's 3:45 Eastern, 1:45 Central, and 12:45 p.m. for Pacific zone tomorrow.
I think we should just give Eastern. If anyone wants to
Yeah,
live
you
in one of these
calculate.
other difficult
No, I mean,
time
takes me 10
zones, they have to
seconds.
figure it out themselves. You know what I mean?
Typical East time zone.
No,
Yeah, I get
we
it.
love everybody. All time
I'm
zones.
just. Don't take the things I say serious. So Bangor, where's Bangor on this
Fifth,
table right here?
fifth, very strong. They only lost one game in the last 5. They did 3 wins and 1 drew in the last 4. So they're very, very strong. They're in big form. Going to be a tough match away. Very, very tough. I wouldn't expect much. If we get a point, I would be super happy already, to be honest. And then also not the following one is even more important. It's Crusaders, November 8th.
And they're the
That's
team
the
below
one.
us.
Exactly. That's going to be our direct competitor to fight for the 10th spot, because it's going to be between us and them for that 10th spot. Because Cliftonville, Portadown, it's going to be tough to pass them, maybe, if we get a bit better. But I think Crusaders is going to be our biggest enemy for this season.
I mean, Bangor, it looks like they draw half their games. So, I mean, heck, let's go get a point. Looks like they're into it. That's kind of their thing.
1 point.
And let's go get a W against. Yeah, I think that works out well for us.
Any points helps at this moment.
They're -1 in goal differential, and we're -2. So
yeah, but that's, I mean, in terms of attack, with the second worst after Glenavon. So it doesn't mean anything. We need to score goals.
We'll pick up some points here. We're going to get healthy. Like in the next, 4 weeks or so, we're going to be in a different spot. We make a transfer, thing here or there. There's no reason we can't be competing toward the top of the table come 8 weeks from now. When we're healthy, we kind of hold the ship for now. We get a draw and a win in our next 2. Like, there's no reason we can't be fighting for something very interesting when we all go there in March. Like, there's no reason.
It's going to be a tough game. The Honor
Tough
Summit
game.
is
Tough
against
game.
Linfield.
hey, Steven, for the next show, we need to put the link for people to go and see the opportunity in a QR, so we can just throw it up like we do with all the other stuff. All right, Steven? So I'll get you that link if you can handle it. Because it's just in listening to the passion, Michael, that you have, and the excitement.
That was good.
And
thank you for coming.
You could be a tour guide for Belfast.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's good. Visit Belfast with
for
Michael.
anybody that doesn't realize, we didn't invest a ton of money. And right now, you can get in on the Carrick Rangers for, I think, $200,
Yeah,
right?
200.
I think that's right.
So
Yeah.
That's the next round, yeah.
you go out to dinner, it's $200 now. Like, if you didn't take, if this is at all exciting to you or piquing your interest, if you didn't take a couple of $100 and become an owner, what are you going to do with that couple $100 anyway? You're going to blow it.
You're missing out. You're missing out on a
You
beautiful.
go out on a Friday night and you Saturday
experience.
morning, you're like, wait a minute, did I spend that much? Why are my pockets empty? I remember it's a lampshade on my head type of thing. So no, it's awesome, man. This hour, flew by.
Yeah.
Because our plan was to get out at 45 minutes, wasn't it? Right?
Ah.
Let's do 45 minutes.
Yes,
tonight.
but then when they started talking and I had my
I can't
questions,
stop.
there's no way.
Oh, Michael, you were awesome. And I know
Yeah,
it was
it was
odd
good.
that I reached out and I asked you and you said yes, but we didn't talk.
No.
And we didn't know what to expect.
No, I don't. Nothing. Yeah.
To me, that's more natural. It's like, I don't know, this guy could be great or this guy could be serial killer. I don't know, John, but we'll find
That's the
out.
risk.
And
That's the
And those
risk.
could both be true. Yeah, it could be. There's a lot of good podcasters who I think might be on the spectrum of serial killers. So, like, I think TBD on all that. In fairness, yeah.
Dexter Morgan seems like a good guy. I'd hang out with him. You know what I mean?
If you know anything about Wisconsin, we have a lot of serial killers. But for what it's worth, I am not one. Just for the record, since this is being, yeah. But anyway, no. Again, thank you so much for having me. I am passionate about the club, and it happened very quickly. And Michael and the whole organization and how we're doing this, I think, is so authentic, and I think it's built for the long run. And so, no, being on this is really fun for me, and I was very appreciative that you invited me on. And so I thank you for the effort in putting this together, because things like this, I think, will expedite the interest in America, and the more things we can do like this and to draw a bridge, I think is going to just get us where we want to go quicker.
I hope so. And we did really well last week. I don't know what the final number was, but it was well over 3,000 total views. So that's
great.
That's pretty good for first time.
Yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Michael, again.
And thanks to everybody that tuned in tonight. And Michael, thank you for coming on. We're hoping. Well, I'm not even going to say or hoping that you come back. You're coming back at some point. Some of the other guys already, they won't stop with this text message. They just text until my phone dies, and then I charge it, and they're still texting. But they want you. They said, Uncle Rico out, Michael Becker in. That's what one of the guys said.
Hey, they're already doing the
Rico hasn't even been on next week. He hasn't even premiered yet, and these guys are already coming out. So
that's harsh. That's a little too harsh, but I appreciate it. And thank you again for having me. I love it.
No, this is awesome. What's going to be the best, and I'll close with this, and unless, John, you get something, but what's going to be great is doing two future shows, one from the stadium and one from Michael Becker's man cave there with the fire going. I've been to Wisconsin one time. A friend of mine put a cabin on a lake somewhere. We drove.
I thought you looked familiar. Yeah.
We drove like 95 hours. There was no internet, no phone. There was barely running water. I'm like, where the hell am I? And I'm a city guy. And we were there for 5 days. I almost blew my own brains out. And I didn't even have a gun. So
nope, that's Wisconsin. You must have been here to a T. Yeah.
We appreciate everybody tuning in. We will be back next Thursday night, every Thursday at 7:00. We'll be here, and there's a lot of us. You'll see different faces next week. Support the show, support the team. Carrick Rangers. What is the website? We got to get all this loaded. It's Carrick Rangers it's not .com. It's
.co.uk. Isn't it .co.uk?
I'm not sure.
Anything that's United Kingdom, it's usually .co.uk.
But in the description, there's the link so you can go and check out the opportunity. So with all that being said, let me get our music back up here, and we're gonna get out. Any closing words, guys?
No, thank you, Michael. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next Thursday.
From the harbor light